Thank you very much for joining us. William Silla is our sign language interpreter. I'm Nancy Kachingira. Wilson Buru is my colleague tonight. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has suspended the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Chairman, Mumo Matemu, and Vice Chairperson Irene Keino, pending a tribunal hearing over integrity concerns that have been raised against the two. Transparency International has expressed concern that the move would expose the anti-graft body to legal challenges over grafts cases that it's been pursuing and derail the war on corruption. We've got Patrick Amimo joining us from our city centre studio. Patrick, tell us a bit more about this latest development.
Mumo Matemu and Irene Keino's suspension came a day after the National Assembly passed a motion to kick the two out of Integrity Centre following a successful public petition by lawyer Geoffrey Oriaro. A statement by State House spokesman to media houses states that Matemu and Keino are suspended from undertaking all functions and duties of those offices with immediate effect, pending the outcome of the tribunal, which will be set up in accordance with the law. State House says the suspensions will not hinder the work of the Commission, arguing the Commission remains constitutionally established and operational. However, the Kenyan chapter of Transparency International holds a different opinion.
Without commissioners, there will be no properly constituted commission. That is our considered view, as envisaged by the Constitution and the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Act. The Commission primarily comprises the commissioners, while the Secretariat implements the decision of the commissioners.
On April Fool's Day, suspended EACC Vice Chair Irene Keino said she had been pressured to quit and be appointed ambassador, but she declined. Commissioner Jen Onsongo resigned in late March, allegedly after a meeting at State Law Office, leaving only Matemu and Keino in office.
That there's a brazen attempt to force my resignation and disbandment of the Commission by a clique, which is a clear subversion of the Constitution. Speaking
on Jeff Koinange Live on Wednesday, former anti-graft boss P.L. Lumumba, who was also ejected from office in 2011 after legislators ganged up against him, weighed in on Matemu and Keino's fate.
President Kenyatta is now sitting firmly on the saddle. There are few things that he ought to attend to firmly and swiftly. The fight against corruption, and there is a sense in which he has already drawn the line in the sand. There's 60 days. I hope he has an end game. After 60 days, what happened? We have already seen that some of the individuals mentioned are already off radar. My only hope is that we don't see a trooping back into cabinet, a trooping back into office by these individuals. People must either be held criminally culpable or politically accountable.
Lawyer George Oriaro sought Matemu and Keino's removal for alleged incompetence and abuse of office. Oriaro claimed Matemu had interfered with investigations into Anglo leasing scandal. He accused Keino of allegedly engaging in business with a state corporation through a company associated with her on matters related to subdivision of land title and parking in Nairobi. The hunter had become the hunted. But the timing of the petition, when the Commission had started prosecutions on high-profile Anglo leasing cases, has raised eyebrows.
From the time the allegations of impropriety started cropping up, they ought to have been investigated and dealt with conclusively. That takes away from the possibility of interested parties taking advantage of those wrangles and allegations to derail the Commission in the name of addressing particular misconduct of individuals.
This is a very tricky time in terms of the ongoing enhanced fight against corruption, and so one would have wanted a credible institutions over which there are no allegations to be the one that is pursuing these matters.
Early this month, the Attorney General Professor Githu Muigai formed a task force to come up with clear distinction between policy and operational roles of anti-corruption agencies. This came at a time when the President had expressed concern that tough wars at Integrity Centre over commissioners and the Secretariat was affecting the war on graft. Parliament was also handling a petition seeking removal of Matemu and Keino from the Commission. With Matemu and Keino out, what is the fate of the Commission?
I think the more reason why the Attorney General should come forward and tell us. Perhaps this is still part of one strategy that was being executed right from the appointment of the task force to what we are seeing now and what we might see that we don't know. So it is important for that advisory to come. But primary for us is that the active files, some of which are with the DPP, and others that are supposed to go to the DPP for consideration for prosecution, still go forward.
The commission has publicly proclaimed that it has the following people that it is investigating. It has a public duty now, and if it's the police who are going to take over, they have a public duty to explain the circumstances in which they allowed X not to be prosecuted and prosecuted Y.
Just when the fight on corruption was gaining momentum, spanners have been thrown into the works, and the commission now appears crippled. The president needs to move with speed and assure Kenyans that what we are witnessing now is not a case of musical chairs, and that the fight on corruption will not be compromised. Mumo, KTN, Nairobi.